Hello, church. So we're back with you for our devotional for Tuesday, July 7th, as we continue in the book Song of Songs, also known as Song of Solomon. We step into a new section today, and I think you've encountered the pattern before as we were doing Ecclesiastes and some other works. But so the commentators are acknowledging this larger section of similar thematic connections. Weems is going to continue to break it out a couple verses at a time, but the reflection section will be at the end of chapter 2, verse 7. So we're going to have bits of commentary going along. Today's video might be a little bit quicker, and we'll see if we need to do a couple of sections to give it a little more material. But Weems starts out with a fair bit of just an opening commentary. We'll share the verses, and then we'll get into some specific references that I actually found to be really helpful in understanding the original Hebrew and what's going on in the scripture. And hopefully it'll be helpful for you too. She entitles this overall section of 1:7 to 2:7, I compare you, my love. And we're going to be hearing this back and forth between the lovers and listening to that, which she gets into. Turning to 1:7 to 2:7, we cannot help feeling that we are eavesdropping on an intimate tete-a-tete between lovers. It seems as though we are intruding upon a conversation intended for only the special ears involved. This is profoundly private talk between two people who share special intimacies and who have special intentions toward each other. Theirs is love talk, lusty and mischievous. Such talk is ablaze with mutual admiration and longing, while at the same time shrouded in cryptic references and secret allusions. What keeps it from careening toward the vulgar, besides the fact that it is consensual, is that love talk is not blunt speech. Lovers bristling with passion and yearning rarely talk about their desires forthrightly. Instead, they talk around them. They talk in codes, relying on analogies, hiding behind innuendos and figurative speech to convey what they are too shy, too embarrassed, too nervous, too straight-laced, or perhaps too modest to say outright. As for the subject of their whispers, why, it is sex, of course. I can see that landing in a college classroom, and that'd be fun, or a Sunday school classroom, for crying out loud. They're doing what? So our first portion of our new section, verses 7 to 8, she entitles A Simple Question from the NRSV. Tell me, you whom my soul loves, where you pasture your flock, where you make it lie down at noon. For why should I be like one who is veiled beside the flocks of your companions? If you do not know, O fairest among women, follow the tracks of the flock and pasture your kids beside the shepherd's tents. And a little bit of feedback, or a little bit of commentary. She inquires as to where he pastures his flock, which is that opening question, which suggests that he is a shepherd, particularly where he leads his flock, as shepherds do at the noon hour to rest. The implication, and that's hottest time of the day, take it a little easy, right? The implication is that midday might be the ideal time when she and her mate could steal away for some adventure. Almost pouting, but maintaining a tone of seductiveness, the protagonist lets her lover know that she resents being in the dark as to his whereabouts, having to stumble about blindly as if she wore a veil over her face, groping for him. Why should I be like one who is veiled beside the flocks of your friends? She is not comparing herself to a prostitute whose face is cloaked in order to hide her identity, as one might think or presume. Some scholars point to the ruse Tamar, and that's a good Old Testament story if you don't know that one, was forced to resort to in her efforts to woo her father-in-law, Judah, from Genesis 38:15, and it also is referenced in Hosea 2, verse 2. The protagonist's meaning then would be something like, why should I have to resort to duplicity like the ancestress Tamar in order to get your attention? But the poetry makes clear throughout that it is not the woman who is evasive, but her lover. She is continually looking for him, groping for him, inquiring about him. He is elusive, but she is persistent. The veil that she speaks of is the figurative one she feels she wears, which keeps her always uncertain about him. Yeah, that was a little short, but we'll end there for today. So our next section, that Weems entitles Precious Metaphors, and uses that as the next, and it's really for the next portion of this conversation that we're listening to. So that's it for today. We'll be back with you tomorrow as we continue in chapter 1 and hit a couple of more sections, and we will see you then. Have a great day. Oh, in case you're worried about it, power came back on at the parsonage yesterday afternoon, so we're back up and running, and that's a good thing. Continue prayers for all of our personnel who are out there working. We had a fleet of trucks in the parking lot at the church yesterday while they were waiting for another call for the next call for a job coming up. So blessings to all those who are out there trying to get things back up and running, and we will see you later. Bye.